We are here with Mr. James Morini from Riyadh School. First of all, welcome to our show.
Thank you very much. It's great to have you here.
So if you tell us about Family Carnival and what's the initiative behind this idea?
Well, Riyadh Schools wants to make sure it's actually a very community-orientated school. It wants to make sure that the community can come into the school and see what we have to offer. We'd like to make sure we're very responsible in the social aspect of community life. And we certainly would like to see families and children come in and have a look at what we have to offer and maybe become a Riyadh School student in the future.
So if you tell us about some of the activities that's happening here today?
Well, there's a whole range of activities. There's activities where kids can actually participate in painting. There's a whole range of educational games activities. We have sponsors, significant sponsors who have actually come in to actually make sure people understand how newspapers work, how banking works. We have the Ministry of Education programs here. We have the diabetics van is here. People can come in and donate blood. So it's a very big concept, a very big arrangement with lots of people we hope will come.
So how's the interactions of the community so far?
It's improving. I mean, the school is improving. We hope to be the #1 school in the kingdom by the year 2020. We are on target to meet that outcome that we set for ourselves. And the educational program that we're offering is going to be of international quality. And we want to make sure everyone in the community understands what we're trying to do and hopefully can become part of that. It also means that we want parents and community leaders to come and help us to participate in the partnership with learning, both as a school and with their children in the classroom.
Back. That was a report from our second topic of discussion, which is Carnival and Family Day at a local school over here in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And with that, we are very pleased to be joining us our guest, Mrs. Najud Al-Harthi. She is an elementary principal at a private school in the capital city of Riyadh. So thank you very much, ma'am, for joining us, Mrs. Najud. We would like to ask you, first of all, to be telling us more about this event that is held at your school and if it's first of its kind that is held in the school.
First of all, thank you for having me. This event is a family event, so a lot of our students are engaged with their family inside the school, and also they get the opportunity to invite their families and friends and just to be exposed to different businesses that we have invited and we have been working with. It's a day for the children. It's a day for them to just have fun, really very far a little bit from the academic cloud, but even they will be learning throughout the day certain activities or even through businesses and being aware of what's happening outside the school community.
Mm-hmm. So this is the first time that you are hosting such an event?
Actually, yes. I think it's the first time to have a comprehensive event which involves a lot of people, a lot of associations and a lot of businesses. We used to do, smaller events and maybe things that tackle academic areas, and this is the first time that it involves parents inside the school, also with friends and relatives. So, a student gets an opportunity to say to, the relatives, come and see this is my school, and also for them to really know what's going on outside from businesses, like awareness. A lot of organizations came to our school and talked about, what they believe in and what they are working towards. So it's entertaining, fun, but with learning as well mixed between them.
Fantastic. And Mrs. Najud, if you can tell us more about the various activities and the competitions that were targeted for the students as well as the people who came in as visitors.
There's a lot of artistic activities, students learning how to do things, hands-on. A lot of drawing, painting, hand activities, sewing or maybe doing some pots and things. Scientific, scientific activities as well. We had a whole range of activities where they do experiments and they go learn, but through fun. So they're not like feeling that it's like class lessons.
It's not education.
It's not education, but they are learning, at the end, and they can get their friends and families to participate. So a mother and a child goes in and they play and they do stuff together, but they're learning. Also, we have culture activities and traditional activities where they are learning of our culture and our traditions and things that we are very proud as a community to be aware of different things and organizations outside the school in terms of diabetes and maybe cancer or certain things that they need to learn and have that input.
Yeah, and Mrs. Njoud, we were talking about the World Day for Volunteer. And as Dr. Azam Abdkhil, the Minister of Education, launched a new strategy actually to support the volunteer in the kingdom, and they will give them awards in different subjects. Let me ask you if volunteer is part of this event.
Well, we had 40 students from outside the Riyadh schools volunteering just in organizing and helping and providing support to families and students. And they're very young, they're from grades maybe 7 to 12. And they were so active, very energetic, helpful. Also, we had from our own students coming and volunteering. So that was a huge deal to see these young Saudi children that they really want to engage and help and give back to the community. And I think Riyadh schools helped in that area a lot to open that doors, and also the students, even if they're very young, they can see and be exposed to that. So one day they can do other things, hopefully when they graduate, and do other things in the community just for volunteering sake.
Indeed. Now, Mrs. Njoud, we do understand that opening up doors for volunteering definitely is a big spectrum that we are trying to really direct our youngsters to. This is a platform that has been discussed and celebrated in most of the big multinational countries where volunteering is a big part of the university credits as well. So we are seeing that come over here in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia as well. Do you think that more such events are going to promote volunteering further in order to really excite the kids and let them know that volunteering is just not work, it is something that they can really enjoy and have fun with?
Well, I think from my experience, in this event, I saw very committed, I'm in the girls section, but I see very young, committed students and girls wanting to give back, want and take their job very serious. They know this is volunteer and they want to give back. And I think a lot of organizations and a lot of schools are really talking about it and really supporting this. In classes and lessons, even you can see teachers talking about who's going to volunteer on this or who's going to help younger students to do other activities. So I think volunteer is really there and students are embracing it, and also parents are supporting it. Maybe if you can compare it 2 years before, you wouldn't see a lot of volunteer activities. True. Or even some organization just supporting that. But now you just see everyone is now rushing to be a volunteer. They don't want anything in return. They just want to give back to the community. So that's really something that I feel very proud of to be in this society, and also a mother, having children, to see that your children are going to be raised in that environment. So I think, I'm very proud of everyone.
And hopefully in the future we'll see more numbers actually join the volunteer work. But Mrs. Njoud, let me ask you about the other schools and institutions that are participating in this event along with Riyadh schools. What are they?
Riyadh schools have a really good reputation and also relationship with other organizations. So in terms of participating and people coming, it was not an issue because we have a lot of parents in in the school where they send their students, so they would like to give back. You know, they want to be a part of this event, and they want to be a part of just having that partnership between. We had a lot of people helping out and just supporting the event. And as I said, maybe 2-3 years before you wouldn't have, you know, that kind of partnership, but now we have a lot, and still I hope so, like in the future we're going to have more, since they see that there's meaning to it. When you have purpose and meaning, then people will come and rush and be a part of it.
That's right.
Absolutely. Now, Mrs. Najoud, we do see that there is a big shift in the Saudi society in the past few years. We do realize that awareness is something that is coming more accessible to the younger public, to the general public as well. Schools have tried to make education very different as well. We are seeing many big schools in the country. They are taking different approaches towards education. We are not towards the traditional method of learning anymore. We are trying to keep up with the pace of technology as well. How is it that you see that the parents should try and support this change and actually motivate their kids to be a part of it? It is a very big revolution in education in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia right now. How would you suggest that families try and support their kids through the process?
Well, I think the first or the most important thing is the carnival itself. I mean, the carnival is something new. People are exposed to different awareness, you know, different topics, and they're aware. Also, they interact. They're learning, but in a different forum. It's an extracurricular activity, so it's not a tradition, you know, class, teacher, just being exposed to these information. No, you know, they're having fun. By, you know, learning different things, you know, through activities. So I think this is one of the things that is really different than how we used to see education, you know, just being in the class. This is outside the class, bringing the community from outside the school inside, and just presenting these businesses and this awareness. So, you know, child comes, you know, what is this booth about? You know, they ask and answer some questions. They learned, you know, something that maybe in the class takes an hour or 2 hours to be taught. Another booth, I think that every child at that day knew about a lot of stuff that they normally wouldn't even learn about in the class, because, you know, it's just fun, you know, it's different than the class.
Yeah, and since this is the first of its kind, talk about being more comprehensive actually and having such a big event, are you willing to make it an annual event?
I hope so. You know,
is it easy to have it?
It's very easy, because when you have dedicated people and the organization is very high. I mean, at that day, everyone was organizing, everyone was planning, everyone was hands-on. The child comes in and sees the principal, the teacher, the janitor, everyone is there supporting, and so I think that it's a reward for us as staff, and then we will, you know, of course we're going to do it every year, or hopefully it will get better and better. The outcome of that carnival was spectacular. Like, everyone was really happy that they got a chance to interact with their students, learning together. It's very important for a mother or a father to be a part of the child's learning life, you know. They're always, you know, very busy in their own lives and their work, but I mean, this event, it's really something special, and it creates that bond that by day, I think it, you know, we can't see it because of the hectic life that we have. And, you know, these kinds of events really puts it back together and helps them to bond together, have that really strong rapport between mother, student, teacher, principal, everyone in one place. You know, supporting one thing is just to have fun and creating that bond. So hopefully, yes, every year.
Inshallah. Ms. Najoud, we do realize that extracurricular activities are definitely becoming a very big part of the syllabus within the year. Now, how would you suggest that, you know, parents try to realize that this is part of learning, that this is the new way of learning, and what is finally going to be your message to all of the parents who are listening to you right now?
I just think that for schools they should be very transparent with the parents, and the parents need to put effort to know what's going in their child's life. So when they know, they accept. When they see outcomes, they accept. My final advice: just the families need to be more involved in their children's life. Just knowing what's happening in the class, what's happening in the school, coming in such form, in such event, and learning about the school, learning about the activities. That's a huge thing in a child's life. So just support your children, I think.
Very well said. With this, we'd like to thank you, Mrs. Njoud Al-Harthi, and hopefully, inshallah, next year we'll be also covering.
Inshallah. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much.
It's our pleasure. And with this, our dear viewers, it's a wrap for our second discussion of the day. We'll take a short break and we'll be back to you. Stay with us.